My name's Eric, aka Akasha. I'm on RuPaul's Drag Race. In 3 words, I am crazy, sexy and cool. No. In 3 words, I am crazy, I am real, and I am honest. I chose my drag name from Anne Rice's character from Queen of the Damned, or the movie that Aaliyah starred in. I loved her; she was beautiful. The name itself, I guess, Queen of the Damned, and I like vampires. And I was a character for Halloween, and the name kind of just stuck with me. One of my most memorable performances would have to be the first time my wig fell off while I was performing. Luckily, I had cornrows underneath because that's when my hair was longer. But I was spinning my hair around, and I didn't want to bobby pin it in because cornrows, if anyone has ever had them, they're very painful when they're done extremely tight, and when you put pins in it and stuff, it doesn't feel too good. So I was spinning my head around, and my wig fell off. And there's like pictures online of it. I didn't. I mean, I was like, whatever, because it's just. And then I think my wig's fallen off before, and I just shake my real hair out. It's a mohawk, and just go with it. It actually gives me more of a drive since my hair is off. It's like there's nothing else to lose, so just go for it. I'm single and looking for a man that can handle me. Handle me not so much as in the sexual area. I'm very honest and open, and I feel that communication is very important in a relationship. And if you can't communicate with me on a regular basis, then there's really nothing that can happen, go forth in a relationship. And I'm always honest and truthful about everything. So if the person's not that way with me, it just wouldn't work. And I also, when it comes to a man, he cannot want me as Akasha. He has to like me for who I am. If I wanted to be Akasha full time, I get surgeries and augmentations and work done to be Akasha. Akasha is part of who I am. It's like acting. Like an actor, you don't want an actor to pretend that they're this character from this show all the time. I think there's a little bit of bitch in every. um, I think my mannerisms are in the middle. I don't try and act more feminine when I'm in drag, and I don't try and act more butch when I'm not in drag. So I think I'm in the middle. Since I am a drag queen, yeah, I can be a little more flamboyant. But yeah, I can be a man when I need to too. Um, I mean, it's just whatever the situation calls for. No, everyone in my life knows about my alter ego. My mother just found out recently. I actually had not talked to my mom in like 7 years. Since when I was 17, I moved out of my house, and ever since then, I've been on my own, doing my own thing, and I talk to my dad sparingly. Whenever I talk to him, he's usually asking me for money, and I'm like, you're the parent, I'm the child. I should be asking you for money, but it doesn't work that way all the time. So. But my mother just found out, and she works at Dillard's at Beechwood Place, and I bought a dress from her. My favorite thing about performing is entertaining people. I like to entertain people, make them smile, make them laugh, make them want to see more of what I can do and what I do do.
My name is Bibi Zahara Benet from RuPaul's Drag Race. In 3 words, I am international, dynamic, and sophisticated. The name Bibi, I've always loved the name Bibi. I had created this character and I wanted to find something which really reflects the character. And I've always liked the name Bibi. I think Bibi suits me very, very well. And Zahara, I wanted something which comes like where I come from, like my origin. And so I decided to look for something which would tie me with my roots. And so I came up with Zahara. And then Benet is just French because I also have half French in me. So Bibi Zahara Benet. Well, I'm from West Africa, but I grew up in Cameroon and I also grew up in France. I I started modeling in drag when I was in school, and well, saying that I was modeling as a woman to say, but I was not necessarily on stage, doing the art form like, what I'm talking like being like heavily overdone and making money from doing that and stuff. I just was more the fashion aspect of it. When I moved to Minneapolis 4 years ago, I went to the Gay 90s and I watched the drag show, and I started talking to some of the queens who did the show, just because I was really amazed with what they were doing and I thought I could fit good in it. And it just so happened that they were looking for another queen to be part of Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun in Minneapolis. And so I was asked if I was up to par, and I said yes, I was. And I think that was my breakthrough into getting into the scene and starting to work in the shows. My most memorable performance would be the very first time I did a song from The Lion King. I did a song from The Lion King, Circle of Life, and I had it mixed into Endangered Species by Diane Reeves. And that was the very, very first time I was like in full, like really touching the roots. Because when I watched all the shows I had gone to, I really never found an entertainer who was really giving you the motherland, you know, performing and giving you that whole feel from where I come from. And so I thought that that was one thing which I really wanted to do. That would be my big, you know, come out or whatever. The best thing about having fans is that they would always be there for you. They would always support you no matter what, and wherever you want to go to, they will be there, just right there with you. The worst thing would be you really don't have a private life. You have no private life, and so that can be really nagging at times. Well, right now I wow, how personal. I'm single. I have a lot I'm trying to get to. Like, I have a lot of goals and aspirations in life where I'm trying to get to, and I'm very focused on that. I think anybody who comes to know who Bibi Zahara Benet is just, I mean, it's something they do know. They do know, and they're supportive. You know, we're who we are. We are characters, and I think everybody, in some way, has an alter ego. You know, it's called tolerance and it's called respect.
Hi, my name is David Sotomayor, also known as Jade, and I'm one of the contestants of RuPaul's Drag Race. In 3 words, I would definitely describe myself as talented, professional, and passionate. Actually, my name, Jade, came from my first show. I didn't have a name, so they wanted to name me Jennifer. I thought it was too common, so I said, why don't we shorten it down to just J, and they actually mispronounced it and said Jade, and I just stuck with it, kind of liked it. I've definitely always been interested in the performing arts. I'm a professional dancer as well, and being able to create any persona and just perform for an audience has always been a love of mine. And drag has been one art form that has really caught a lot of attention from where I'm at. And it's gotten me here on TV, and I love it. One of the performances that I got great reviews for was when I was imitating Britney Spears' MTV performance in 2001 where she did I'm a Slave. And I actually had all my dancers from head to toe in their animal costumes. I had her exact replica costume, and I actually walked out with a albino python. So I rocked the crowd that night. The best thing of having fans is the continuous support and love that they give you, and just that push, you know, to continue going forward. The downside is that, you know, they tend to get into your private life a little too much, and, you know, you don't have time to yourself when you go out. You definitely have to always be talking to all your fans and greeting them and thanking them for their loyal support. But I mean, I don't have a problem with that. The only downside that I see in having fans is just, you know, the lack of privacy. I haven't had a boyfriend yet, so I'm single and looking. In the career that I have chosen, which is in the performing arts, I tend to have to travel a lot, meet a lot of people. And, you know, I'm definitely a big flirt, and somebody who's gonna be with me has to understand that and not be the jealous type. I'm pretty open about my drag life. I never actually spoken it in person with my father, but he knew about it. But before I came onto the show, I did let him know that I was gonna be doing a big thing. I didn't exactly tell him what it was, but he will find out. And I did tell him it was female impersonating. And he said that whatever I'm happy doing, that he's proud and he supports me. So I'm pretty lucky. I think I like every aspect of performing: costume, makeup, dance, just coming up with different concepts, themes, and just hearing the reaction of the audience, especially when it's a good one. If I wake up tomorrow morning and I can be anyone I choose, I would definitely have to say Jennifer Lopez. She's an amazing performer, she's multi-talented, she's an amazing businesswoman, and she's just, someone that I am proud to say is Latina. And as I am a Latina as well, I would definitely like to make my Latino community proud as well. If I were to walk the red carpet, I would definitely rock Versace. And I would have to say I'd bring with me Antonio Sabato Jr.
My name is Nina Flowers, and I am competing to be the next America's drag queen superstar at RuPaul's Drag Race. Three words that I could use to describe Nina Flowers. I could say that Nina Flowers is fierce, she's fabulous, and she is unique. I chose Nina because my favorite rock star happens to be Nina Hagen, and Flowers happens to be my last name in Spanish, so it sounded like funny, and I loved it. I think it has a lot of charisma, so I went for Nina Flowers. I actually started naming after my real name. My performance name was Jorge Flores, and when I decided to enter into my first beauty pageant, that was Miss Continental in 1999, I was performing a female figure, and of course I couldn't go there naming after Jorge Flores, so that's when I decided that I was gonna name Nina Flowers, and ever since that, the name stayed. I haven't experienced anything negative about having fans, so unfortunately I can't answer that. I don't think that there's anything negative about it. Well, my experience so far has been great. I think fans are amazing, and that's what drives me to want to be better every day. My fans, and conquer more fans, and that's what it's all about to me. Entertain. My love life, it's great, excellent. I moved to Denver, Colorado 7 months ago, and that is because I met this fabulous man back in my hometown in Puerto Rico. We established a long distance relationship for a little while, and I decided that why not? I'm gonna give it a shot. And my love life is excellent. Actually, I miss him. I can't wait to go home to him. Yes. I happen to love Cyndi Lauper. I love Cyndi Lauper. I think she has got an incredible personality. She's so outgoing. Her music is incredible, and I'm a big fan of the 80s. I was born in 74, but I grew up in the 80s, so most of my inspirations are from the 80s, and I remember seeing Cyndi Lauper back then. She's totally different now, but still great. Her new CD is off the chart, incredible. So I would love to definitely be her. I'm a DJ actually, and my other passion aside from perform, it's being a DJ. I actually relate both careers because they're about entertaining people, and really music makes life beautiful. I think it's great. So that's I spend most of my time when I'm not creating my performances or working on them. I spend most of my time creating music. Everybody knows about my alter ego. My family, I've had a wonderful family. I have a wonderful family. My father, my mama, God bless her soul, she passed away 5 years ago. My brothers and my sister, they're all amazing. I have an incredible family, and I've always had their support in everything.
In the morning, I'm known as Ryan. At night, I'm known as Ongina from RuPaul's Drag Race. In 3 words, I am a woman, amazing, and fantastic. My drag name comes from my middle name, which is ONG, which is actually my mom's last name, because in the Philippines is usually how you get your middle name. You don't really get one. So it's Ong. And because God didn't bless me with a certain kind of Aina, I kind of put the last 3 letters of a certain kind of Aina with Ong and made Ongina. Besides Ongina being the best drag name, I've heard, actually there is a cast member here named Rebecca Glasscock, and I think that's kind of genius. Drag is basically an artistic expression. It's an outlet for the women that's stuck in this gay man's body to kind of come out and let loose. And it's kind of it's actually really liberating to be able to perform and entertain the way that I see it in my head and kind of transform it into reality. So that in itself is really amazing for me to be able to do drag. One of my most memorable performances is when I did a lap dance for this straight guy from like Alabama. And he was at a restaurant that I was working at, and it was his birthday, and so they requested for a lap dance. Now he knew he was in a drag restaurant, so it was fun. But when I did the flip over, when I did the flip over, my legs on his shoulder kind of thing, when I'm upside down and my head's on his crotch, my wig fell off. And then I was wearing boy underwear, so he got really turned off by it, but it made everyone laugh in the audience because it was kind of like, okay, this one is like, it's a boy in a dress, so it was kind of funny. I got a really good tip though. The best thing about performing is just performing in itself. Like the energy, the creativity that goes around, like the inspiration from starting from picking the song, the outfit, the hair, the makeup, and then coming on stage and coming alive is just amazing. Just like personally for me, like I don't perform for anybody else but myself. So when I'm on stage, I'm Ongina and I really feel the energy, and that's the most amazing thing. If I wake up tomorrow and become an infamous diva, it would be Beyonce. I love her. So if my first single was nominated for a Grammy, I would wear Christian Lacroix, and my date would probably be, I have to think about this, is really hard. If I can only choose one guy, okay, he would have to be a millionaire. Let's just say that.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Glasscock from RuPaul's Drag Race. In 3 words, I am scatterbrained, ditzy, and cute. Every drag queen needs a really good drag name. So, my first name, Rebecca, came because one of my best friends, her name is Rebecca, and she's a dear friend of mine, so of course, I had to take her name as Rebecca as well. So me and my drag mother were driving to the water park one day, and I'm reading to her the classifieds on the back of a gay magazine because I usually do that to practice my English out loud. So as I'm reading this guy's ad, it says blonde, blue eyes, muscular, total boyfriend material. And at the end, I don't remember his name, but his last name was Glasscock. We both burst into laughter, and that's where Glasscock was born. When I first started doing drag, my initial name was Roxy Lang. And that was a girl that I left behind a long time ago, but I still remember her from time to time. So I met this girl, and her name was Tiffany Tampon at Fire Island, and that is the best drag name that I've ever heard. So one of my most memorable performances is when I was performing at a pageant back in Fort Lauderdale. And I had a halter top. I was doing Bjork, I was so quiet, and my halter top came completely down. Now this is an outfit that I had made, so it had built-in boobies, so when it came down, all you could see was my boy chest. But I went with it, and I made it up my own, and it worked, and the video's up there. So one of the great things about doing drag is that I get to meet a lot of people. One of the bad things about doing drag is that sometimes the whole thing could turn upside down on you. You could end up with a stalker, which, trust me, it ain't pretty. So, if I had $1 million and I were to remake any music video, I would have to remake Candyman, except I would change nothing, but I would take Christina Aguilera out and I would put myself in. So now let's get to the good stuff, the love life. Quite frankly, I'm single and I'm looking, so inquire within. Requirements would be buff, handsome, good teeth, money, car, professional, loves drag queens. When I'm not in drag, one of my favorite things to do is watch reality TV shows. And who knew? I'm in one. If I had to walk down the red carpet, I would have to be dressed to the nines in a sickening Cavalli outfit. And on my arm, of course, would be my mom, because I would love nothing more than to share that special moment with a woman that means the most to me.
My name is Brian Watkins, aka Chanel, and I'm in RuPaul's Drag Race. My drag name originally was chosen because my first cat was a Siamese cat, and her name was Chanel, and I thought it was suiting and sexy and sensual, and that's why I'm Chanel. The art of female impersonation has always been a passion of mine. I'm a makeup artist by trade and a character illusionist, and the ability to conceptualize an illusion and bring it to stage with business and professionalism is something that I've always been able to captivate, and to be able to entertain an audience or audiences from all over the world has proven to be my passion, and I've been successful doing it, and I love every bit of it. In 3 words, I am exotic, I am ostentatious, and incredibly flamboyant in nature. My most memorable performance so far in my almost 15 years of my career was when I had the opportunity of auditioning as the role of the host for Zumanity at New York Cirque du Soleil show. And out of 88 people, I was one of 5 chosen to do a main audition on stage. And walking onto a stage that seats almost 3,000 people on $1 million microphone, dressed absolutely to the nines in Mugler's finest, was an amazing and exhilarating feeling, knowing that I was one of the chosen few to be able to have an opportunity like that. And using a $1 million microphone is not like using a Radio Shack microphone, so it was a pretty amazing feeling. I've always found inspiration through basically anything and everything that Cher does. I love her Believe video, but more importantly, I love to see her doing Believe on main stage. But in all reality, I don't watch much in the way of music videos, because most of the illusions that I create are of women of yesteryear, and that was before music videos were around. The best thing about having fans is that you always have support, you always have someone there to basically watch your back for you, to zip you up, to be there as your guiding light per se, and you're never alone. The worst thing about having fans is that you are never left alone. There is rarely an occasion, in all honesty, living in Las Vegas where I can go through a drive-thru and someone doesn't know who I am, or walk into Walmart and someone doesn't know who I am. So there are its ups and there are its downs, and I've chosen that lifestyle. And if I wasn't a ham and I didn't love it and I didn't love myself, and I wouldn't do it. My life is a complete open book, 110%. There is absolutely no one in my life or that I've ever met where I have not told them or they do not know who I am and what I do. And my alter ego, I love it. It's great. I have complete and utter support from every family member and every friend. When I am not performing, my favorite thing to do is to stay at home and watch The Golden Girls or Roseanne. I am a Nick at Night TV buff. If I could walk down the carpet, the red carpet, with anyone in the entire world, it would be my mother. My mother is my absolute #1 fan. She is the absolute true and utter love of my life, and she is the reason why God put me on this earth. And if I could be wearing anything at all, it would be the finest of Terry Mugler's fashions. With a full collar, corseted waist, peplums, skin-tight, black, and painted for filth.
Hello, my name is Tammy Brown with an IE, doing RuPaul's Drag Races. Harley Davidson. In 3 words, I am excited. Rock and roll. Tasty. I chose my drag name. I was forced into my drag name. I actually wanted my name to be Keith Glenn Schubert, or Glenn Schubert, like RuPaul is RuPaul Charles. But in Corpus Christi, Texas, they said, you have to have a drag name. So one night when we were playing Switch the Lines Around on the phone, three-way caller to call some boy that was really shady and shy. He was playing games with me. Anyway, so it said Bob Brown on the phone when he answered. Bob Brown? You're not Bob Brown, you're Keith Glenn. I said, well, I can change my phone number to Tammy Brown. And I went that night to the club, and that's how Tammy Brown with an IE came about. Oh, well, I loved Tina Turner so much that I wanted to be called, and I loved the movie Tootsie. So I was going to be Tootsie Turner. Tootsie Turner on the Big Burner. Oh, I just was looking through books and thinking of praying to Jesus to be a woman and all this stuff when I was a little boy. And I used to dress up in the closet and wear high heel shoes and walk around with a feather duster and piss in hot tubs as a wee little tyke. And it's always been something natural for me. My most memorable performance would have to be in, let's see, it was at the Paradise, and that's in Long Beach, California. My wig fell off, right? So I said, oh, goodness almighty. And I knew my dress was falling off underneath my jacket. So I just tore the jacket off, and the dress was coming down, and kicked my high heels across the bar, and boop, hit someone in the head, and I kept going, and just pretty much naked on the stage, just running around, and that is a restaurant, piano bar, actually. It was a great performance. I wish it was videotaped. That would have been so good. Maybe it can be on a Lifetime movie someday. The best thing about having fans is they give you jewelry. This is for Fanta and the other young ladies out there, and Riverside and San Bernardino, and the Oasis nightclub drag idol. And they give you gifts. They give you lots of gifts. Sometimes you get gifts dropped off at your house on the doorstep, and they send you nice letters. The worst thing is sometimes they come on a little too nice, and then they're just a bunch of weirdos. They don't even back up what they're talking about. They're cute, but they're dumb sometimes. But I really like fans. I really adore them, and I'm here for them right now. When I'm not performing, I like to collect records. I like to clean house. I like to cook. I like to go out with my friends. Just have a good time. I like to chant. I love chanting. I like to take the children for a walk. I'm at Children's Nature Institute. It's an organization that takes inner city kids out on a walk, and put on your hiking boots and you take them out there. It's really good. A philanthropist. I'm working on becoming a philanthropist. Oh, everybody knows about me. I mean, I send them clippings and I collect my work and I send it to my family, and I'm open about being a drag queen. If we're sitting at a coffee house or anywhere, a bar, anything, just whoop whoop. Yes, I'm a drag queen. My name is Tammy Brown, and I'm pretty darn good. I'm in that magazine over there.
My name is Victor, and I create the illusion of Victoria Porkchop Parker, and I'm here at RuPaul's Drag Race. In 3 words, I'm diva, charismatic, and talented. Well, my given name is Victor, so it was kind of natural for Victoria to be my drag name. And I got Parker from a former Miss North Carolina who won the pageant the year that I started female impersonation. Her last name was Parker, so Victoria Parker was born. I got pork chop from being a really good cook. I have a lot of friends who come over and they all want to get good fried pork chops. So people started calling me pork chop because I make such good pork chops. I want to be the Paula Deen of drag, I guess. Well, I've always been an entertainer from the time I was born. I've been involved in show choir, theater, acting, and I'm one of the older contestants here. And back in the early middle 80s, there wasn't a lot of roles for people who were very effeminate, so it kind of came natural for me to want to be a female impersonator. The first time I ever went to a gay bar, there was a show, and I thought, well, I can do that. I would have to say one of my most memorable performances was in a competition I did last year, and I had the opportunity to have Erica Dunlap, a former Miss Real America, in the number with me, and she wore her Miss America crown, and we wore matching costumes, and it was one of the best moments I ever had on stage. The audience loved it. The best thing about having fans are people love you and adore you, and they cheer for you, they send you cards and gifts. And probably the worst thing about having fans is that they don't realize that when you're off stage, how difficult it is to maintain that level. You want to have a little bit of secrecy and a little bit of privacy when you go home, and it's kind of hard to keep the two in line. And it's kind of hard to go home and turn your phone off and kind of hide from everyone, because that's what you do after a long weekend of being cheered and screamed at and people wanting to meet you and have photos. You just want to go get in bed and turn off everything and relax. So that's the bad part and the good part, but I wouldn't change anything. I would say that everyone in my life is aware of my diva alter ego. I've been doing this a very long time, and I don't think anyone who's ever known me didn't know I was gay or that I was a female impersonator. It's kind of just a natural thing with me. People like it. Well, to me, drag, if you look in Webster's dictionary, drag is dressed as girl. And female impersonation is a gentleman who changes theirself into a female for entertainment purposes. A drag queen is someone who just likes to get dressed in drag and go out to the bar and have a good time, and they don't care about really going on stage. Female impersonation to me is a career, and it's something I do as a living. And when the show's over, I take my makeup off and I go home as a man. So that's why I consider myself a female impersonator. One of my favorite things about performing is when I go on stage, I can create a totally different illusion than who I am. I can create a persona that entertains people. People enjoy. I try to make people forget their problems. In my show, I want everyone to leave all the bad stuff at home and enjoy me and the rest of the show for the hour or two that we're there, because that's what it's all about, is entertaining. And so that's probably what I try to do the most on stage, is entertain. Elizabeth Taylor. If I had the opportunity to be born a diva all over again, I would love to be Elizabeth Taylor. She's been beautiful as a child, beautiful as an adult, and she's a beautiful lady still. So Elizabeth Taylor is a fabulous diva. If I had the opportunity to walk the runway, because my song is nominated for a Grammy, I would be wearing Bob Mackie. And my date would be Usher.